And I am live, and you're not. How we doing tonight, folks? Thrash Pondo here, and I'm doing my special edition Father's Day live chat. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. What the heck? Happy Father's Day to everyone. Oh, look, Lance Javen's here. Lance, how did I know you're going to be the first one on tonight? My hero. Oh, and I saw that you got like some type of tracking or something. Does the post office give at will updates on when packages arrive now? But I'm glad you're going to be getting your package on Tuesday. Danny Stanton's here. He says, greetings. Oh, and Tracy Roth Myers from Tracy's Fractured History and More is here. She says, hi, Robert. You're the only one who still calls me Robert. You're such a formal, sweet lady. Anyway, yes, hello to you too, Tracy. I hope you're feeling better. I heard that you weren't feeling well earlier today. And your puppy was taking care of you. That was so sweet. Hope you're feeling better. Keith E is here, says, we're gonna roll out the barrel. We'll have a barrel of fun. And Lance Javen saying happy Father's Day. And a happy Father's Day to you too. Let me just try these. I want to see if these glasses work any better. Ooh. They do not. My wife says these are special blue light glasses that work better with computers. So I'm going to stick with these cheapo, crappy ones, which should be doing fine. So, Tracy says, I have a touch of the flu, you poor thing. I hope you feel better. I'll try to make this live chat as less strenuous as possible. Only 257 is here. Only 257. So glad you could make it. And a multiple thumbs up to you. And Danny says, I haven't felt well since the 80s. There's a lot of that going around. We certainly all felt a lot better in the 80s. I'll certainly grant you that. Only 257 says, it's like the ending of Solar Babies. If I remember correct, I haven't seen that movie, I think, since I was in college, but if I remember correctly, that movie had a very somber ending. So, Les Javen says, Tracy, get well soon. Tracy, what Lance said, I will reiterate. John Helper, I would say Helper. John Helper is here, says, RIP to Treat Williams and Cormac McCarthy. Yes, very, very, very much so. And Treat Williams, he was in New England when he died. He was a motorcycle accident. So yes, I have to watch Hair as a monument to his loss. He was also, it's right here on YouTube, for vintage forgotten rock fans out there. He did a Tony Powers video called "Don't Nobody Move, This Is a Hast," which is absolutely amazing. Cormac McCarthy, I hadn't heard of. I've only read one thing by him, and as you've probably already guessed, it's The Road. But yes, R.I.P. Mr. McCarthy. Only is also reiterating to Tracy that she gets better soon. Ken Wilkinson is here, says good evening, Bob, and a good evening to you as well. Tug is here, says hello all. Happy Father's Day to you too, Tug, and all my followers and fans and friends and fellowshippers who are fathers as well. I figured you and Mrs. Tug and the Tuggette would have you wrapped up tight, but I'm glad you could make it. David is here and he says, happy Father's Day, Chief. David, so glad you could make it. Welcome to the party, as it were. Only says I was watching Avalanche movie from a 1978 box set, I'm guessing that was. Oh, and Tracy says, happy Father's Day, Robert. Thank you very much. That was very, very kind of you. Keithy says, Tracy. And Tug says, happy Father's Day to all fathers. Yes, all our four fathers. And only says, mean 1978 pawns, stupid phone. Funny that I actually knew exactly what you meant. And let's see what else we got going on here. Danny has given us a link. Thank you, Danny the Manny, as well. Please give links to all of your channels and to Tug's as well, if you could, please. Although I'm sure you're all fans of Tug as it stands. Now, John says, thought I'd give some love to some fathers lost young, like Kurt Cobain and PNB Rock. Yes, we lost a lot of fathers very, very young, and a lot of children had to grow up without their fathers. Actually, I can speak freely now. I'm sure many of you know. My granddaughter and daughter actually are away. They're actually spending the weekend with a friend. I'm sure you know my son-in-law is no longer with us. He died when Haley was very, very, very young. So yes, to all children who had to grow up without a father, and all fathers who weren't around to, to see their kids grow up, commiserations. Only says my family member is watching Vacation from 1983 on HBO Max. I'm watching it with them. I actually, you know what? I like virtually all the Vacation movies. Some stronger than others, but that original one is actually got to be my favorite. Got to be my favorite. Oh, and by the way, the original daughter is actually a distant relative of mine. We're very distant cousins. Tracy says, "Happy Dad's Day to every dad out there." Thank you so much. Keithy says, "Target only has 3,000 to go before you become somebody." And going strong. Lance Javen says, "Loved Treat in Deep Rising and Dead Heat. Not that one of those are bad films." Only says, "Sorry for your lost pawns." Thank you. Thank you very, very much. It's been many, many years, but I still miss the kid. He was the son I never had. He really was. But thank you. I appreciate it. David says, "Sorry. That's so tough. It's been very tough." But again, endeavor to persevere. Daryl Johnson says, "Bob, Daryl, so good to see you." Denny Staten has given us links to Dave Sundstrom. Excellent, excellent. Only 257 said, "Hated Vegas Vacation. It's terrible." I saw that when I was at work. We had it on our in-store play system. If memory serves, it wasn't very good. John says, "Hootie5 says, I'm here. Good to see you, Tug." Daryl Johnson saying, "Hey" to our other fellow shippers. Jenny's given us another link. Thank you. Big Guys 45. Thank you. Big Guy says, "Sorry to hear about that. Tracy, feel better." A lot of people having fellowship. Big Guy 45 says, "Only 257. Can I find you on TikTok at all?" Fingers crossed there. Only 257 says, "My name is Chucky. Want to play?" Your name is Chucky on TikTok? Too cool, too cool. Sean Ennis is here. He says, "I see you, Keithy. LOL." But then he goes on to say, only 257 goes on to say, "Big, no TikTok account. Sorry." Keithy says, "I heard Vegas Vacation movie was not listed under National Lampoon." Ooh. I'm not 100%. Quite possible, but I'm not cassette. Big Guy 45 says, "I had a buffet at a casino. I tried my best not to eat too much, and I did that." A lot of those buffets are actually surprisingly good. Some of them are weak, but when I was in Vegas, I actually found a lot of very, very nice buffets, as you can probably tell. John says, "R.I.P. to the big man, Clarence Clemens, lost 12 years ago." R.I.P. Mr. Clemens. And let's just see what else we got going on here. Big Guy says, "I'm currently at 467 followers on TikTok. I'm getting to 500 hopefully soon. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed." Only 257 says, "I want my MTV." Me too, by the way. Oh, and there's actually a question about MTV on tonight's trivia game. And Daryl, you're falling asleep at the switch. We have 14 people with us and only 5 likes. I'm a little insulted. It's Father's Day. Come on, people, show some love. Daryl Johnson goes on to say, "How about y'all hit the like button?" Ooh, uncanny. That's weird. As I was saying that, Daryl, you posted that comment. Daryl, you keep me young. Sean Innes says, "Blow past 500 soon." Big Guy 45. Big Guy 45 says, "The buffet was in Central California, nowhere near Vegas." Why did I think you were talking about Vegas? Oh, well, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, LOL. I've been there before, way back in June of 2016, however. I'm sorry, I had Vegas stuck in me. Oh my God, look who's here. Tom. There. Did my good deed. Oh, you showing up at my event is your good deed. Thanks a lot. Anyway, Tom, happy Father's Day, by the way. And welcome to the party, as is always. Big Guy says to Sean Innes, "I hope so. Can I find you there or not? Just curious." Len says, "Yeah, hit the like button or I will kiss you all. I mean it." Daryl Johnson says, I ain't go to Vegas. There be UFO. I know, isn't that like wild? Dan, thank you for keeping us in the loop on that whole Vegas UFO thing. Yeah, I've been watching that. You and My Flock is everywhere. Oh, at some point, by the way, please send me my Flock. Send me Sarah's new cell phone. All I have is her old phone number. She's been asking me to get in touch with her for ages, and I keep forgetting to ask. So don't do it now. You're getting your hands full of everything else. But tell you what, we'll talk sometime during this week. Only says The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. The original or the remake? I like the original one with Robert Shaw. Terrell Eugene Bellinger is here. Tab, how you doing? And Terrell says, hello, Thrash. Happy Dad's Day. I missed last week's stream because I got caught up with other things going on in my life. Tab, I more than understand. We all have responsibilities outside of me. Even I do. But whenever you can make it, it's always great to have you. Only says Carrie 1976. I love the original Carrie. Says he's basic. Was amazing in that movie. Big S45 says, does anybody know whatever happened to Music Girl 67? Haven't seen her come by over here in a really long time, sadly. You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I've actually sent her a couple of shout outs and stuff, both on YouTube and on Facebook. Today, she sent me a Father's Day post. It was very funny, by the way. She said, she gave me a shout out, asked how I was doing, and said, you might find this funny. My guess is she's just got her hands full. She has her own channels to manage and whatnot, but I did hear from her today, and she's doing well. If I talk to her, I'll pass on your interest in her. 257 says, Warriors come out to play. Warriors come out to play. Have you seen my Warriors post on this channel, in my content channel, where I give the game-changing theory about the Warriors movie? I ask all of you, please, after we're done tonight, go into my content channel. You'll be in my content channel. Find the Warriors post and check it out. I guarantee you will be interested. Sean Innes says, Big Guy 45, not on TikTok, any other social media I can help with. I barely use Insta and Twitter and avoid Facebook like the plague. Big Guy says hi to Tom. And yeah, Big Guy only says original movie spawns. Yeah, always go with the originals. With some notable exceptions, 1 Million BC and some others as well. Only says Better Off Dead movie. I love that movie. I really, really love that movie. David says, if you build it, it will come. Yes, it will come if you build it. Tracy says hi to Teb. I think I'm almost caught up now. A lot of people having fellowship. Wajamin is here. He says hello to Lance. I'm guessing everybody else. Danny's giving us another link. Nostalgic Pod Blast is here. He says hi. Nostalgic Pod Blast, so glad you could make it, by the way. I've got to see that post. I've been meaning to all day. This day got away from me. I was busy doing stuff around the house and whatnot. I've got to see, though, your new post about the message you got from the lady who was in The Fugitive, whose name eludes me. That's why I got to watch the video. And but anyway, hello and welcome to the party as always, Pod Blast. Tug says good self plug Thrash. That's how it's done. Oh, I shamelessly promote not only everyone else, but I shamelessly promote myself. I cross promote myself, actually. That's a cute trick. Tom says, what's the topic tonight? I always seem to miss the very beginning. No worries. It's just Happy Father's Day. If you guys want to talk about fathers of old, fathers of new, your favorite fathers on vintage TV, movies, funny experiences you had with your father. I even thought of, my idea was first jobs, worst jobs. Not that all fathers are the only ones who work and not all fathers have jobs, but something made me think of that. First jobs, worst jobs. That actually might be a little segment I do. And Tom, I bet you can remember the first job we both had. And I'll get into worst jobs later. But right now, we're just kind of talking about dads as a whole. Big Guy says, Tom, can I find you on TikTok at all? My account is SparkleDude1974. If you're interested, try to reach 500 followers by the end of the month. Trace says, do you know if Ian will be having a live stream tomorrow? To the best of my knowledge, we will be. I was hoping to see him tonight. It occurs to me I have to say Happy Father's Day. I talked to everybody else today. I haven't talked to him today. Oops, a daisy. He's not on Facebook, so I haven't had a chance. But Call it a tentative yes. Uh, um, Tab says, nothing. He jumped off the page. Oh, we've reached that point of the night, haven't we? Teb says, did you know that Sherman Helmsley was actually in his early 30s when he first started playing the middle-aged George Jefferson on screen? Yes, and there was actually a 20-plus year difference between him and Wheezy, but it worked for him. He was actually, I think, one of the best. I think he's one of the best TV fathers in history. I love George Jefferson. I really do. Tom says, no TikTok for me. Sorry. Big Guy says, I'm sleeping right now. Sorry. I'll try coming back soon. Sorry, LOL. Get some rest. We'll see you when you get back. Have a power nap. Let's just see what else we got going on here. Oh, only says Shazam TV series pawns. Yeah, but Billy Batson wasn't a father. Les Tremaine was a father figure. So yeah, we'll count it. We'll count it. Nostalgic Pablo says same here, Tom. And he goes on to say Secret of ISIS TV show and the Bugaloos. Great shows. Big Guy says goodbye for now, friends. Happy Father's Day as well. Oh, and only says HR Puff and stuff. Again, great shows. Big Guy 45 says Ward Cleaver was a great TV father. He certainly was. Oh, only I can't believe it's taken this long for someone to mention it. Land of the Lost, Rick Marshall. Yes, he was an amazing TV dad. He really was. Denny's Dayton says nothing. He just jumped off the page. He says, don't worry, I'll find it. Denny Staten. Oh, I'm sorry. You're giving us a link. Thank you. Cindy D is here. Hey, Cindy. Hello, everyone. Cindy, so glad you could make it. Happy Father's Day to you and yours. So glad you could make it. Again, we were just talking about favorite TV dads, and Sherman Hemsley was mentioned. Also, Rick Marshall. And Ward Cleaver. Kevin Scott 76 is here. Happy Father's Day, everybody. I have two boys. Happy Father's Day to you, Mr. Scott. Did I not say happy Father's Day? I saw your post today on Facebook. I thought I said happy Father's Day. If I didn't, terrible omission on my part. Very sorry. But happy Father's Day, of course. I think I missed somebody. I'm just going to scroll down really quick. Oh, Sean Innes says on Dave Sundstrom's Father's Day posse, a singled out William Wyndham. Didn't he write Day of the Triffids? Terrell Eugene Bellinger says, which beloved 70s sitcom dad do you prefer better? Mike Brady, Archie Bunker, Fred Sanford, James Evans, Howard Cunningham, or George Jefferson? We already know I like George Jefferson. Howard Cunningham was good, but not much edge to him. James Evans was great. He had edge. Archie Bunker, he was too hooked up on his ideology to be a really good father. He wasn't a bad father, but he wasn't a particularly good one either. And Fred Sanford was a savvy businessman, but I don't know. The way he treated Lamont sometimes, I don't know. But I would prefer either of them to Mike Brady. So that's how I would handle that question. Kevin Scott says, best TV father, Captain Stubing on the Love Boat. Yes, that was a whole game changer when his daughter joined them. So yes, I will actually give you that. Les Gibbons says, Tug, how about cult films of the 70s and 80s for our next stream? A lot of mileage we could get out of there. We certainly could. Oh, only 257 says Mike Brady. Apologies. It's a free country at the moment. Let's just see what else we got going on here. I think I jumped, but I can't go. Here he goes. Danny Skin says, my favorite TV dad was Al Bundy because he seemed real and not all TV fake. I couldn't agree with you more. I could not agree with you more. Tug says, Lance, good call. I still haven't figured out my schedule, but I'll keep you in the loop. Maybe we can do another stream with Thrash and Ian. Count me in already, Freddy. Only 257 says, Star Crash movie, Lance. Great movie. Tracy says, George Jetson. Love it. Oh, Gary Carpenter's here. I heard you on Dave's show. Oh, to Lance Chafin? Oh, I didn't get a chance to see that show yet. Congratulations, Lance. Excellent job. Cindy says, James Evans Sr. reminded me of my own dad. anything for his family. He really was an everything for his family person. Yes, he certainly was. 257 says only Hollywood Boulevard, 1976. I don't recall the 76 version. Oh, but Gary Carpenter says Gomez Adams or Darren Stevens. Darren Stevens, well, either one of them was pretty good, but I always loved Gomez Adams. He never got mad. He never got his belt. He never yelled at the mom. I liked him a lot better than my own father at the time. My father is an absolutely amazing, great, wonderful, well adapted man. Now he was rough when I was a kid. That's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, Tom says great one. Yes, indeed. Oh, on Land of the Lost, definitely, definitely. And Tug says Teb, either George Jefferson or Mr. Cunningham. I did like Mr. Cunningham, but again, he wasn't particularly edgy. And only 257 says the Lens, Desiree 2000 and Piranha. I love both of those. Piranha was a John Sayles movie, wasn't it? I believe it was. I believe that caught me back up, so I'm going to bop on down to the bottom, and hopefully I haven't lost too much ground. I think I did actually. So I'm going to see where I left off. Here it is. And I'm going to try to catch up, guys. So if I miss something, please forgive me. Only says Killdozer. Love it. Sean Innes says, I'm sorry. Keithy says to Sean Innes, Sean, I know you're keeping track, so I'm here. Excellent, excellent. Les Chafin says, you did GC. Okay. Oh, excellent. To answer Gary Carpenter's questions. And Jerry Carpenter goes on to say to Tracy, how's our patient? Yes. She seems to be holding up better, but is just a little under the Wellesley. She has a touch of the flu. Cindy says, I loved our Miss Winslow and Philip Banks. Mr. Winslow. I remember Miss Winslow and Son, but I don't remember Mr. Winslow. I'm sure it'll come to me. Let me know what show. Tom says modern nostalgia. I know, but the dad from Freaks and Geeks was awesome. Never watched the show. I'm sorry. Ellen Chafin mentioned Homer Simpson, definitely. Tracy says, I know that's the same thing. Good Times, the guy played James Evans, was about 15 to 20 years younger than Esther Roll, who played his wife. Yeah! But again, they had such great chemistry, nobody noticed. Lance also says Al Bundy. Sean Innes says to Keithy, LOL, I saw you and yelled it out earlier. Pay attention. Teasing again. Oh, and only 257 says Night of the Comet. There's no fathers of Night of the Comet, I'm afraid. The closest thing we got is the guy from all the Clint Eastwood movies. Daniel Lewis? Joffrey Lewis. Joffrey Lewis, who, of course, is the father to Juliette Lewis. But since Juliette Lewis wasn't in Night of the Comet, I don't think that holds water. 257 says Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There was a father in that. Let's just see what else we get going on here. A lot of people having fellowship. Les Javen says Hell Night with Linda Blair. I met Linda Blair, and I freaked her out. When I met her, I was a little starstruck, and I blurted out, I'm your oldest fan. And she's going to like, and I learned a valuable lesson about not freaking out celebrities, but a very, very, very sweet person. Kevin Scott says the dad on Dukes of Hazzard. I thought that was their uncle, but okay. We'll count it. 257 says Silver Spoon's only seen clips my family members saw it in the 80s. Never a big fan of the show. Didn't hate it. Just I think it went up against something else I didn't watch at the time. I'm sorry. I keep getting the survey from CVS, and I don't care if they're hiring. Gary Carpenter says my favorite TV dads would be Gomez Adams and Darren Stevens. Yes, Darren Stevens was great, and you certainly know how I feel about Gomez Adams. Keithy says, sorry, Sean, the chat is just moving too fast for me. I don't know how Thrash is even keeping up. I don't either, but I'll keep trying. Only 257 says Lance, 70s classic Last House on the Left by Wes Craven, one of his first films, if not his first film. actually based on a Swedish cautionary tale, I guess you'd call it, which was turned into a movie by Max von Sydow in the 1950s, but a very grim movie. Tab says, which beloved 80s slash 90s dad do you prefer better? Stephen Keaton, Dr. Cliff Huxtable, Tony Maselli, Dr. Jason Seaver, Al Bundy, Danny Tanner, Dan Cooner, or Philip Uncle Phil Banks. Those are all great choices with a couple possible exceptions, but I'm going to be nice here. I would say number one would probably be Jason Seaver. Al Bundy a close second. Danny Tanner's good. And well, we'll go with Al. The rest would kind of like filter in the back. Tom says, "Nice save, Thrash. I certainly try. I certainly try." Kenneth Wilkinson says, "Nothing. He just jumped off the page." That happens a lot. You guys are very, very, very interactive tonight, and I appreciate that. But if I miss anybody, please bear with me. Here we are. No. Oh yeah, here we are. Les Javen says Herman Munster, great one, great one. Ken Wilton says, "Good evening, my beautiful Cindy D." Oh, that's so sweet. Gary Carpenter says, "Kevin, there's no dad on Dukes, just Uncle Jesse." Yeah, I thought there was the Uncle Jesse there. A lot of people liking Bundy. That's awesome. A lot of people loving Herman Munster. I'll certainly buy that. Someone said, only says yes, Pawns. Well, thank you. And John Orchard is here. Says Sarek, Spock's father. That's actually a very good one. That's actually a very good one. I'm surprised we haven't gotten around to Star Trek specifically yet. We always get around to Star Trek, but Sarek was great. Apparently, it was the logical thing to do to marry Spock's mother. We all know what that means. Danny says, "My dad was Air Force. It was like having Major Payne as a dad, literally." Um, and Tug also likes John Orchard's suggestion. And David says, "Major Dad." I think I just got rid of that blinking box giving me my messages. I don't know why. It never done that before. I think because I'm scrolling, I think I'm hitting the message box, so it's giving my last message. But I will try to alleviate that. And let's just see what else we got going on here. Les Javen says Jurassic Park turns 30 years old in 2023. I know. Tug did a great video on that. Isn't that amazing? Tom, I think you and I saw Jurassic Park. I saw it 3 times in the theaters that year. I think you were one of them. And Dave McPherson was it. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ted says Carl Winslow, Family Matters. Oh, I see. So it wasn't the show, The Winslows. It was Mr. Winslow out from Family Matters, who now does those commercials for TV Dad, where you could save hundreds on your insurance. Absolutely, I love those commercials. They're a riot. David says, "Major Dad, great show." Oh, give me 1 second, guys. Turn off. I almost got it. Think positive. I think that did it. I'm trying to turn off all notifications. Let's see. Sean Innes says Thrash Pondapon's William Wyndham. I singled out for the same father role in my. Oh, give me 1 second here. Boom, and turn off all notifications. There we go. Father role in my world, and welcome to it. 6970. She's having a baby, and Commodore Decker in Star Trek, the original series. Cindy D says Carl Winslow for Family Matters. Gotcha. And thank you. Father Knows Best. How could we have not mentioned Fathers Know Best by this point in the show? Really, I'm ashamed at all of us, myself included. Tom says, Thrash, you would probably like Freaks and Geeks. You would recognize a lot of our childhood in the show. I can only imagine. Gary Garber says, Thrasher, my father was a bit rough around the edges. I'm sure a lot of you guys had tougher dads than mine. Back then, being a tough dad was considered good parenting. It's not now. Cindy D says the dad on Double Trouble. He played Dutch in Soap. Wow, you're right. I had completely forgotten that. I love the show Soap. I really, really did. Most people don't even realize or remember that was a show Benson was a spinoff of. But yeah, he wow, very good. Thank you. And Tracy says Lost in Space Dad. Yes, Mr. Robinson. And Nostalgia Publa says Jor-El was a pretty good movie dad. Yes, he certainly was. He certainly was. Podbless says Professor John Robinson. Good dad. Yes, he certainly was. And let's just see. Out257 says the Donna Reed show. Definitely. Sean Innes says to Gary Carpenter, IRL. I'm a David R, so I did a double take there, LOL. And let's see. Gary Carpenter says Stephen Douglas, Henry Mitchell. Let's just see. Cindy D says Tracy, I love Lost in Space. I'm gonna try not to jump off the page here while I scroll up. Oh, I see it froze. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. I think we just oh yeah, here it is. Ooh, wow, I am like way behind now. Okay. I'm gonna pick up where I left off, and then I'm gonna have to read like really quickly. So I might miss a few here and there. Podbless says Captain Kirk, deadbeat dad, left his son David behind in another galaxy somewhere for decades, caused Klingons to kill his son. LOL. That's a tragic way of looking at it, but it's certainly valid. I'm gonna skip down. Turtle Teb says, if it wasn't for Al Bundy, there would be no Jay Pritchard, the other dad role that Ed O'Neill played in Modern Family, though completely different. Much more generous dad, that's for sure. Okay, Jed Clampett or Uncle Jesse. I'm gonna go with Jed Clampett. Teb says no mention of Red Foreman from that 70s show. Pablo says Jed for sure, Gary Carpenter. 257 says Mr. Rogers, great choice. I'm gonna try to again, I think I just jumped. I'm gonna try to skip down because I'm way behind. So if I miss your comments, please bear with me. Uh, 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 257 says Star Trek TOS. Shana says to Podblast, you must be related to Finnegan for heckling James T. Kirk like that. Emily Miller's here. Says Gidget's dad was cool. Gidget's dad was an amazing dad. And Emily Miller, welcome to the party. So glad you could make it tonight. Just skip down here because we have a few more people who just joined the party. Hey, y'all, been lurking and listening. That's great. I'm glad you could make it this evening. Oh, we have a new person here. It says Sally. Hi, I'm a new subscriber here. Sally, thank you for subscribing and thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. And me and my fellowship will do everything we can to entertain your inquiry. Cindy says, LOL, thanks, Lance Chafin. You wouldn't say that if you saw me. Sean Ennis says, Emily Miller, I see you too. Tug says she's always lurking. Podcast says Sarek was a pain in the arse, though. Complained about his boy's choice to join Starfleet Command. Sarek was a bit racist. LOL. He actually was. He actually was. Which you'd think the Vulcans would be above. But he did want his son to go to the Vulcan Science Academy. Kevin says Bryan Cranston character and Knock in the Middle. I prefer him in Breaking Bad, but that's just me. Oh, Emma Miller's welcoming Sally. Yes, everyone, please welcome Sally. Welcome our new member. Cindy D does as well to our show. Darrell says, don't forget to the like button. What he says, Corey's Comedy Channel is here. Says, I'm here with you, Thrash. Hello, everybody. Corey's so glad you could be here. And Jenny, please drop a link for our friend. Oh, you already have done that. Excellent. Tug says, John Aston as Judge Stone's dad in Night Court. I absolutely love that subplot. That was a game changer to me. I thought that was so great. Darrell says Tom Hanks in The Burbs. That's a great one. Gary Carpenter says John Evans or George Jefferson. Excellent choices. I have to go with George Jefferson. I adored George Jefferson. He was just so great. And a lot of people again picking Gomez Adams again. Cindy D says Mr. Drummond on different strokes. Todd Bridges loved him like his dad. I had heard that actually. So yeah, that's he's an amazing father as well. And Jenny's giving us a link. Thank you. Pod bless says my three sons' dad, Fred McMurray, as Steve Douglas. And it's funny too because early in his career he played like tough guys. So it was so funny watching him play this like really awesome dad. Tom is here. Says at work, still listening. Tom, so glad you could make it. I was going to give you a shout out during the show, but I will shout you out now, and I'll still shout you out later. But Tom, so glad you could make it. Glad you're listening. Hope things aren't too crazy. My restaurant was insane last night, so I can only imagine what yours is like tonight on the actual holiday. Oh, and while we're at it, Baked Bean. I'm sure you're gonna watch this in replay, and welcome to the party, belated. And by the way, I got your response about how in Demolition Man Taco Bell wins the fast food wars. So thank you for explaining your joke. And Podblast reiterates George Jefferson was a great dad. Kevin Scott 76 says, "Who else got the belt spanking for punishment?" That's why I remember I was saying when I was a kid, I loved Gomez Adams. Everyone else said how creepy he was. I go, he never got his belt. He never yelled at the mom. He never he was always even bad behavior was usually rewarded, if not at least tolerated. So yeah, I loved Gomez Adams when as a father role when I was a kid. And man, I am so far behind. Oh, I am in trouble. But I'm trying to skim through really fast. Cindy D, like James Evans, she said she loved him. Just giving us another link. Uh, Sally says, I hated Lost in Space, but to each it own. LOL. Hey, free country, free country. What you mean says I did a couple of times. Kevin, get the belt. Yes, indeed. Daryl says Ray Peterson chanting, I'm not going to listen to this. I'm not going to do this now. Tom says Roy Neary, Richard Dreyfuss, was a terrible dad, left his family and ran off with some aliens. Technically, his family left him first. Remember, the wife grabbed the kids, got into the Range Rover, and went off to mom, leaving him high and dry. So of course he's gonna like have a bounce back relationship with aliens. Why not? Cindy D says a switch off the tree and you have to get your own and don't leave off the leaves. Kevin Scott 76. Um, Tug says, Amen, Tom. I could never get over that. Indeed. But again, his wife left him first. Only says Star Wars Holiday Special. Darrell John says, Ray Peterson, I've never seen that. I've never seen anybody drive their garbage down to the street and bang the hell out of it with a stick. I've never seen that. This is, I'm going to skip a lot of people having fellowship. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip down really fast. Oh, the Waltons, of course. Someone mentioned the John Walton. Uh, oh, how about Eddie's father, Bill Bixby? Definitely, definitely. Um, yeah, wow. I'm so far behind tonight. I'm just gonna. All right, I'm back to where I should be. Tug says I'm gonna be quiet for a minute and I'll pour thrash catch up. Pablo says agreed. Cindy D. Martin Lane was awesome. Lance Javen says Zuper, I'm here. Oh, Zuperplex is here. I'm sorry, I missed Zuperplex. Tom Corbett or George Baxter. That's a coin toss. Pablo says Jason Voorhees dad, the worst. 207 says Quantum Leap 198, 1989. Zuplex. Yeah, Zuplex is here. Good, Lance. Weren't you on the members only live chat? Podblast says Jason Voorhees dad, deadbeat dad. Cindy D says he was Podblast. Thanks for his name. um, And Keithy says, "Hey, worried about Lance and the DVD avalanche in his house." I know. I just sent him another box myself, actually. And Tug says that. Oh, hey Keith. Podbo, a lot of people are having chats with each other, so I'm going to try to skip down to. If I missed anyone's questions or comments, feel free to repost them. I had to do something to catch up because I was way behind, but I don't want to discourage you people. It's your interaction which makes this show. Kevin Scott 76, the dad from the Brady Bunch, Mike. Yes, he certainly qualifies as an amazing TV dad. Tug says, was Dr. Morbius a good dad or a terrible one? Depends on how you look at it. Teresa Rothmeyer says, Ricky Ricardo. Great TV dad, horrible dad in real life. Podblast says, the jury is still out about Darren Stevens' parental skills. Oh, Keithy says, Fred Sanford. He was so mean to Lamont. He really was, but not to own their each. Zublik says, good to see you again, Tracy. 257 says buffering pause. Has anyone else experienced buffering? If you are, let me know. Cindy D says the dad in the Brady Bunch was supposed to be Gene Hackman. I had heard that somewhere. Wasn't he supposed to be in Gilligan's Island too? Garrett Gabber says Grandpa Munster or Uncle Fester. I'm gonna go with Grandpa. I love Grandpa. John Orchard said Hutch Manson as nobody, as father as nobody. Tom says Cindy. Wow. Danny says looks good to me. Good. It might be a localized thing. I think there's some electrical storms in the area, so it might cause some people to like get a worse signal if you're closer to me. Cindy says, "You big dummy!" I hated him saying that to Lamont. I know it was so mean. And Denny's Gaten says, "Only 257. Check your." And Ed Wajimine says, I did not know that, Cindy D. Yeah, I had heard that somewhere. And again, I thought he was supposed to be on Gilligan's Island as the professor. But what time is it, folks? It's after 8. What do you say we get to the trivia game? Yeah, Thrash. Yeah, get to the trivia game. Are you sure you guys want the trivia game now? Yes, yes, yes. We're dying for the trivia. We're dying for the trivia. Okay, I'm just going to read these last couple of questions. And Kevin Scott says, how about the worst dads in TV history? Well, they're just non-existent. So you'd have to be shows where the dad wasn't there at all. And Tug says, I said the magic word. Only 257 says trivia game. Cindy D says it's true, Wedge. I mean, I could see that. I couldn't see him. I could see him playing Mike Brady. Daryl Jones says Al Bundy. He's definitely up there, by the way. Zublik says, how about Ben Cartwright? Any options? Yeah, I could certainly see him being considered an excellent TV father. And anyway, Podbless says, one day at a time, Dad. Oh, yeah. I remember he wasn't a particularly good father. So, yeah. So, but there's plenty as well of other bad. The father in that show with Brett Butler, he was pretty bad too. In any event, so we're gonna start with the trivia game, and as always, I'm gonna start in no particular order. And by the way, this isn't gonna be Father's Day themed. I decided to keep it miscellaneous Michigots. You folks seem to like those. So we'll start with number 10. What was the first music video to be played when MTV first launched in 1981? Was it A, The Buggles, Video Killed the Radio Star? B, Pat Benatar, You Better Run? C, David Bowie's Let's Dance? Or D, The Who? You better, you bet. I shall repeat. What was the first music video to be played on MTV when it launched in 1981? A, The Buggles' Video Killed the Radio Star. B, Pat Benatar, You Better Run. C, David Bowie, Let's Dance. Or D, The Who's You Better, You Bet. And I'm not seeing a single wrong answer. You are right. It's A, video killed the radio star. Number 9. What Muppet-centric show ended in 1987 and was HBO's first original series? Was it A, The Muppet Show, B, Muppet Babies, C, Bambaloo, or D, Fraggle Rock? I shall repeat. What Muppet-centric show ended in 1987 and was HBO's first original series? A, The Muppet Show, B, Muppet Babies, C, Bambaloo, or D, Fraggle Rock? And I'm not surprised at all, Tom, you answered first. I used to watch this with your brother, Jimmy. Oh, and that was his older brother, Jimmy. But Jimmy loved Fraggle Rock. But yes, D, Fraggle Rock is the answer there. Am I lagging a little? I seem to be doing okay now. I'm just checking the camera. I ain't got nobody. But yeah, it looked like I froze up for a second or two there. But in any event, I seem to be doing okay now. And I'll move on to question 8. Drama in Parma was the final episode of what James Garner dramatic series? Was it A, The Rockford Files, B, Cheyenne, C, Shannon's Deal, or D, Murphy's Romance? Oh, and Daryl Johnson says you are fine. But Cindy D says yes, Thranch. So maybe I was buffering and now I'm not, or at least lagging and freezing a little bit. But anyway, I shall repeat. Drama in Parma was the final episode of what James Garner starring dramatic series? A, The Rockford Files, B, Cheyenne, C, Shannon's Deal, or D, Murphy's Romance? Tom has no idea on this one. But anyway, everyone else seems to know this one. It is A, The Rockford Files. Number 7. What show, premiering in 1989, went on to become the most watched television show in the world? Was it A, Baywatch, B, Coach, C, Saved by the Bell, or D, Quantum Leap? I shall repeat. What show, premiering in 1989, went on to become the most watched show in the world? Was it A, Baywatch, B, Coach, C, Saved by the Bell, or D, Quantum Leap? Ooh, hedging our bets, are we, 257A? Or that's A, not the answer, but A. Oh, he went on to pick one. Teddy Staten said they all sucked. Oh, and the answer, of course, was yes, B, Coach. No, I'm kidding. It's A, Baywatch, or Sean called it Beach Jiggle TV. And Liz Jafin says, Thrash, I will let you know when I get your package on Tuesday. Okay, and thanks again, buddy. You are more than welcome, my friend. Let's just see. Oh, talking about The Simpsons. He says he watched them in Japan. It was surreal. I mentioned it. Oh, hey, look who's here. Jimmy Neutron. Jimmy Neutron, good to see you, man. Welcome to the party. Doing this a third time or leave permanently. No need to leave permanently, Jimmy. See you, and so glad you could make it tonight. Unfortunately, you kind of missed the first half of the trivia game, but you're more than welcome to play in the second half and watch the first half and replay. Actually, you only missed the first 40% because I'm only on question 6. But anyway, so good that you're back there, Neutron John. In any event, I'm going to pick up with question 6. Okay, Question 6. Why did 51 of the 52 nominees boycott the 1980 Emmy Awards? Was it A, to protest the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan? B, the Screen Actors Guild was on strike at the time? C, they didn't feel like it? Or D, to attend a Ronald Reagan victory celebration? I shall repeat. Why did 51 of the 52 candidates boycott the 1980 Emmy Awards? Was it A, to protest the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan? B, the Screen Actors Guild was on strike at the time? C, they didn't feel like it? Or attend a Ronald Reagan presidential victory celebration? And you people virtually all got it. I can't see any wrong answers. You guys are doing so much. I'm going to have to stick with this TV Guide trivia book because you guys seem to enjoy it much, much better. Oh, Tug says, I genuinely have no idea, but SAG strike sounds most likely. Well, you guessed correctly because you and everyone else got this. B, it was the Screen Actors Guild strike. I now move on. John Horton said, yes, and yes. Moving on. Cindy D says, C was probably true, though. Yeah, it's on. I'd go normally, but I'm going to use a strike as an excuse to not go. And Keith says, 5 for 5 and a big bucket of yogurt for John. Okay, you raise an excellent point. How about, before I give the last 5, how about we get some scores in here? That'll give me a little time to catch up on any questions that I may have missed. Oh, Liz James says Craig T. Nelson, Poltergeist dad. He certainly was. Oh, in reference to Coach. That's right. Yes, of course. Tug says LOL. Cindy. A lot of people like Cindy's joke, which is C was probably true. Okay, Superplex, 5 for 5. What do you mean? It's 5 for 5. Tab is 5 for 5. Tug says these TV Guide questions make us feel smart. Only says 5 right now. Tug is 5 for 5. Shotnina says bucket of yogurt. I'm 5 for 5 too, but not a fan of yogurt here. Cindy D is 5 for 5. Only 257 is 5 for 5. I thought I read that already. Well, I'm glad you're still 5 for 5. Pod Bless is 5 for 5, baby. Gary Carpenter is 4 for 5. Emil Miller is 5 for 5. I'm excited. Daryl Johnson says 5 for 5. Let's see what else we got going on here. Denny says BRB, my neighbor is shooting at something. With his camera phone or with an actual gun? Either way, good luck, Dan. And be safe, and we'll see you really soon. Tracy is 5 for 5. Tug says, I guess we're not only smart, but cultured as well. Oh, in reference to the yogurt. John says, my yogurt, my the Schwartz be with you. I'm very synchronistic that you say that. Pablo says, bad movie, Dad. Jack Nicholson in The Shining. He is Johnny. Joe Jones says, I had a neighbor who shot his wife in the neck. Ew. Very sorry to hear that. Shotnina says, ooh, suave snacks. Sounds intriguing, Lance. Oh, and Corey's 4 for 5. Let me guess you weren't playing. But anyway, I'm going to pick up where we left off, and hopefully Dan is still alive at the end. Okay. Oh, I have them backwards. See, what I do is I write 1 week on one side and then the other week on the next. So I go, why am I at 10 already? Because I was reading the wrong way. Zublik says, rough neighborhood, Daryl. Yes, very rough. So, okay, question 5. 2 Chicago situation comedies were hijacked in 1987 by a dude dressed as what? A, Max Headroom. B, Darth Vader. C, Bart Simpson. Or D, the wise and powerful yogurt. I shall repeat. Two Chicago sitcoms were hijacked in 1987 by a dude dressed as what? A. Max Headroom, B. Darth Vader, C. Bart Simpson, or D. The wise and powerful yogurt? They're starting to trickle in, but you're right. Ooh. Zubaplex. Cindy D says, I hated Max Headroom. I love that show. I love that show. I wish they'd given it more of a chance. But apparently, Cindy, you were in great company because they axed that show faster than something that got axed really quickly. Oh, Tracy, I knew you were going to get that. You probably remember when it happened. Anyone who says, funny, I'm watching that actor now on The Order. He was actually been in so much stuff. Tom, you probably remember in Monty Python: The Meaning of Life, he's one of the ad execs, the one who pulls the sword out of his briefcase. Oh, Mr. Led is here. Says, hey, Commodore, just got in. Wanted to say hi and happy Father's Day to all the dads. Catch you on the replay. Please do, and I'm very, very, very glad you make it. Tug says those pirate broadcasts were freaky as fudge. John Orchard, Daryl says, hey, Mr. Led. John Orchard says, Max Headroom, and to this day, they don't know who it was. You were right. They've mentioned that on several occasions. They have no idea. Gary Carpenter says he's probably letting off some steam. Pablo says, Jock Ewing, okay, TV dad. Les Steven says, Matt Fewer. I always get his name wrong. And I think I pretty much got up. Okay, cool. So I'm going to press on to number 4. What basketball team appeared in a made-for-TV movie sequel to Gilligan's Island? Was it A, the New York Knickerbockers, B, the Harlem Globetrotters, C, the Philadelphia 76ers, or D, the Boston Celtics? Boston represent. I shall repeat. What basketball team appeared in a made-for-TV movie sequel to Gilligan's Island? Was it A, the New York Knicks, B, the Harlem Globetrotters, C, the Philadelphia 76ers, or D, the Boston Celtics? And wow, everyone got this one. And yes, it is the Harlem Globetrotters. I actually saw them in Raleigh back in 88, something around there. Great show, put on a great show. Oh, Emily says I got to watch them once when I was a kid. Was it in Raleigh? That'd be a riot if we went to the same show in Raleigh. That'd be crazy. Oh, Big Guys is back. Hey, Big Guys, good to see you. Mr. Lynn says hello to all the gang. Mr. Lynn, so glad you could make it. Thank you for stopping in. Pablo says Harlem Globetrotters, Martin Landau and Barbara Baines' brightest moment. I thought they were all great. It was a very silly movie, but I thought they were great. I love Martin Landau and Barbara Bain as a combo. Of course, they were romantically involved for decades. Cindy says, my dad promised to take me to see them every year. He lied to me. Oh, I'm very sorry. Daryl says, Matt for Trash Can Man in the stand. Yes, he certainly was. He certainly was. Emily says, I was 20 in 88. I was young when I saw them. Oh, okay, so it had to be a different show. Because I know it was around there because I was in college. I had gone down to visit my father and siblings in Raleigh. Raleigh, I did. And I would have been 21. Tug says, Tracy, oh, I get it. HG Harlem Globetrotters. I was genuinely wondering if you were talking about the element mercury. My son loves chemistry, so it's always on my mind. That is too funny. That is too funny. Danny Staten says, I was 20 in 1985. Yeah, you got a few years on me, bro. Lance Chafin was 18 in 88. Shannon says, for you, Trash Can Man. Cindy D says, I really wanted to see them. Made me sad. I was about 11. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Danny Staten says, my neighbor was shooting in the air to scare off a bear. A bear. In your neighborhood, there was a bear. Well, Denny, I'm glad that no one was hurt. I'm a little concerned there are bears in your neighborhood. I hope your puppy isn't outside unattended right now. I'm sure you would have thought to bring her in. She's so cute. Everyone's seen Denny's puppy. Oh, she's just adorable. And she has these like big, bright eyes. She's just wonderful. And she has these like she looks guilty all the time. It's really, really cute. Lisa Fields is here. Says Happy Father's Day, Thrash. And uh, I guess that's all dads here. All the dads here. Lisa Fields, I'm so glad you could make it. Thank you very much for joining us. Emily Miller said, I did work the state fair in 88, though. I don't think I went to the North Carolina State Fair back in 88. My father would only take us to so many really cool things when I was down. Didn't want to spoil us. Tug says, thanks for the update, Danny. I was genuinely worried. Yes, I'm really glad that everyone is cool. Keith says, zombie bear. No, it's cocaine bear. Gary Carpenter says, I was 21 in 88. We're virtually the same age then. Tracy says, message retracted. Mr. Lynn was 32 in 88. Good times. So you're about 11 years older than I am. Danny says, my neighborhood, LOL. No, it was next door. Wouldn't the house next door to you be in your neighborhood? Well, it depends on how close to the edge of the neighborhood you live on, I suppose. Tug says, bear spray works better than bullets. I know from experience. Was Florida really as dangerous as you make it sound? Alligators and bears? Oh, my. Let's just see. Okay. Emma says, I worked in 88 and in 91. And Daryl Johnson says, we had a bear seen in the partnering store 2 hours, and I tried to talk the kids into sleeping outside. That's crazy. Oh, it only brings up a good point. More trivia. Yes, we only have 3 left. So we shall wrap up the game as it stands and not keeping people in suspenders. Okay, question 3. What reporter opened up Al Capone's vault on live TV in 1986 and found nothing? Zip. Buckus. There was nothing in it. Was it A, Geraldo Rivera, B, Jerry Springer, C, Morton Downey Jr., or D, Phil Donahue? I shall repeat. What reporter opened Al Capone's vault on live TV in 1986 and found nothing? A, Geraldo Rivera, B, Jerry Springer, C, Morton Downey Jr., or D, Phil Donahue? And yeah, you all got it. It's oh, John Collins is here. What did you sneak in, lad? John, so glad you could make it, by the way. Love the stuff you've been posting on Facebook, too, by the way. And now, question 2. What former SNL cast member dropped the F-bomb on live TV and was later fired in 1981? Was it A, Eddie Murphy, B, Robin Duke, C, Charles Rocket, or D, Joe Piscopo? I shall repeat. What famous Saturday Night Live cast member dropped the F-bomb on a live show and was fired in 1981? Oh, Lance, man, you taking off? I see a lot of people saying goodbye, Lance. Well, Lance, have a great night. I'll talk to you soon, and let me know when you get the package on Tuesday, okay? Super. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us, man. And, Emily Miller is guessing Rocket, and a lot of other people are saying it, and I don't see any wrong answers. Although I love only you're great, by the way, CRA. I love how you pick the most likely to. It was Charles Rocket, best known for the Rocket Report. And yes, he was later fired. He just died recently, sadly enough. Tug says too early for Eddie Murphy. I believe he actually I believe he started in 1981, didn't he? Maybe it was 82, but he did start around there. And he wasn't fired. He quit a couple years later, 84. I want to say 84. But anyway, the number one question in Pons' trivia game for this evening is what Star Trek star hosted Reading Rainbow? Was it A, Bill Shatner, B, Patrick Stewart, C, Leonard Nimoy, or D, LeVar Burton? I shall repeat. What Star Trek star hosted Reading Rainbow? Was it A. William Shatner, B. Patrick Stewart, C. Leonard Nimoy, or D. LeVar Burton? And looks like you all got it. Yes, LeVar Burton. So you are correct. And how about we get some final scores? You all seem to do very well tonight, except Corey. I'm sorry. I'm guessing you're away from the screen for most of it. Sean Innes is 9 for 10. Zublex is 9 for 10. Only is 9 for 10. What you mean is 10 for 10. Tom Viney was 8 for 10. Tug is 10 for 10. Terrell Eugene Bellinger is 10 for 10. Cindy D is 10 for 10. Emily Miller got a 10 for 10. Emily, I am so proud of you. I'm proud of all of you. You all did phenomenally well. You all did really, really well. But Emily Miller, you worked very hard to get to 10 for 10, and I'm very, very proud of you. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Andy. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Oh, thank you. That's Thrash's mom. She says happy. Well, she told me happy Father's Day to me. But I took a second happy Father's Day. But happy Father's Day to you all as well. So yeah, everybody, happy Father's Day from Thrash's mom. And let's see what else we got here. Oh, I'm sorry. Daryl Johnson says Charles Rocket died in 2005. I must be confusing him with somebody else then, because the person I was thinking of died in the last couple of years. But now that you mentioned it, all right. Misconception. So he died almost 18 years ago, which is not recently. Keithy says 8 out of 10, and if it were watching Dave, everybody would leave now. Tug says, poor Corey. But 0 is still a perfect score. Gerald John is 9 for 10. Lisa Fields is 3. I just got here. LOL. Yes, so you're 3 for 3. That's a perfect score as well. Tracy got all 10. Tom says, hi, Pam. Daryl John says, wow, Emily Miller, good job. Zublik says, Geraldo Rivera's real name is Geraldo Rodriguez Rivera. His last name is really Rodriguez. I don't think I knew that, but thank you for filling us in. Cindy D says, that's perfect. Lisa Sean Innes says, Daryl Johnson, Rocket died in the next town over. Very sad. And again, I must be thinking of somebody else who died recently. But again, you have so many people die over the years. You go to Steve's channel and celebrities and all that. You start to cross a few wires here and there. Wajabin says, hi, Thrash's mom. Tug says, for most of us, 2005 still seems like a little while ago. You know what? You're right. I actually was thinking about something that happened around 2000, around there, like 2007, I think it was. And I go, well, that wasn't that long ago. And then I thought about how many years ago it was. And I'm like, eek! Time has flown. Emily Miller says, maybe you should do half from TV Guide and the other half from what you make up. Ooh. So what you're saying, Emily, is at first my questions were too tough, and now they could be construed as too easy. So if I were to blend the two, much like taking the hot porridge and the cold porridge and making lukewarm porridge, that's actually an excellent idea. Oh, you just jumped. Tracy says, hi, Mrs. Ponce. Ooh. My mom isn't Mrs. Ponce. Long story. No, she and my father parted ways going on 50 years ago. but thank you. Zublik says, hello, Thrash Pondo's mom. Emily says, hello, Thrash's mom. Tom says, say hi for me, Bob. Okay. I did. You didn't hear me? Yeah, she's in the next room now, but I did say hello to her on your behalf. Daryl Jones says, Mama Thrash. Mama Thrash. I like that. There's a song in there somewhere. Keithy says, when Geraldo Rivera was on ABC News in New York, his real name was Jerry Rivers. Yes, and he says, that's Mama Thrash. I know, but I don't want to say she's getting fat. She'll kill me. Everybody's getting laughs except Mama. Well, actually, no, you're right, because it was everybody's getting fat except everybody's getting fat except Mama Thrash. You know what? That works. Corey says, I wasn't. You wasn't? Well, I wasn't. And Problem is, wasn't what? I'm guessing you was not playing is what we were getting at. But anyway, there's always next time. Oh, some great shows. Only he's bringing up Lost Saucer. Do a Croft trivia game. Ooh, that sounds fun. Oh, here it was. I see. It got cut off too early. Corey says I wasn't that smart in school. In fact, I flunked recess. But Pablo says MCDLT, the hot stays hot and the cold stays. The McDLT, hot stays hot, cold stays cold. Yeah, but they put the cheese with the cold stuff. I want my cheese melted on top of my burger. I mean, I suppose a cold slice of cheese is okay, but anyway, I don't like lettuce on my burgers anyway. And I don't care if the tomato gets hot or not. That's probably why the burger never succeeded. Daryl Johnson says, "Holy moly, Sean! I just read how he died. Man, that's hardcore." Emily says, "Corey, I actually did refuse to participate." Teb says, "How do you feel about the new Flash movie underperforming at the box office and getting mixed reviews?" Since I haven't seen it, I can't comment on it. If anyone else wants to comment, I'm sure many of you guys have seen it. Zubik says, "Well, I remember when Geraldo Rivera was on Eyewitness News and his name was always Geraldo Rivera." I think that Jerry Rivera was a joke. I'm just saying, I'm not sure. Of course, Coming Chill says, "Say hi to mom." We'll do. Oh, and Danny, thank you for the links. Yeah, Danny's been doing some great stuff with Croft shows on his channels. Only says Terrell looked troubled. Cindy D says, "LOL thrash." um. Oh, only says cool Downey, and then he says, "I mean Danny." Darrell Johnson says, "Mama Thrash making chill, a cool breeze." Tug says, "Teb, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not sure how I feel about it." Duplex says, "Even when Geraldo Rivera did his report on Willowbrook, which was the report that made him a star." Yeah, remember Johnny Collins was we were talking about that. John Collins, uh that was like a big thing of his some time ago, that whole Willowbrook breakthrough. Sean Innes says, Daryl Johnson, "Yeah, went out hard, poor guy." Sublik says, "By the way, I once saw Geraldo Rivera. He visited my school." Oh, that's very interesting. Really? Where was this? Where was this Super? Was it in New York? Cindy says, "I like a cold and hot slice of cheese on my burger." Oh, you can't have too much cheese on a burger, so you know what? I'm with you. Oh, only says Pawns that look terrible. And then Lou says, "I don't like cheese on my burger." Don't at me. All right, we won't at you. You like a hamburger. There's nothing wrong with hamburgers. Some of us prefer cheese on them, but there is nothing wrong. If someone gave me a burger and said, "Sorry, Thrash, this is a kosher kitchen. We have no cheese. Eat this hamburger." As long as there was ketchup, I'd be fine. Tug says, "I want some cheese. It has to be cold. Just get me a string cheese. Otherwise, I'll take a Havarti or a Brie." Ooh, la di da, a Brie. Ooh, la di da. How about some Jarlsberg? I want some Jarlsberg. Lisa Field says, "Cindy, delicious." And skipping down here, Shannon says to Zuplex, "Willowbrook was a stunning story back in the day." It really was. Corey says, "I've been watching you the whole time, Thrash. I'm just not a trivia person." Haha. Quite all right. Quite all right. A lot of people aren't. Some people just don't like to do trivia. I was working in a bar once, and some guys came in, and when they saw we were doing a trivia night, they just turned around and walked out. They didn't want to be in a bar that was doing trivia. They wanted to just sit, have a drink, and maybe watch sports. Or if I was working an old movie. Only 257 says 1971. Yes, there was a year 19. Is that when Willowbrook broke? Or you just like the year 1971? That's also the year ZPG came out. Zublik says, "In Brooklyn, here was there to interview. Oh, he was there to interview Senator Jacob Javits. Jacob Javits. Jacob Javits. Oh, and only says interesting. Sean Innes says powered down to BK cheeseburgers a little while ago. Quick and dirty. Only prefers cheeseburgers as well. Gary Carpenter says, Corey, you should watch more TV. Oh, and Gary Carpenter got 9 out of 10. Tug says, what do you think? Grommet? Wensleydale. Remember that cheese shop, Monty Python cheese shop. Wensleydale? Yes. Oh, I'll have some of that. No, that's my name, Mr. Wensleydale. Godot, Edan, Rutherford, Polnivek, Venezuelan beaver cheese. Shut that bloody bazooka! Lisa Field says, Sean sounds good. Tom says, do you? Perfect. Tom, if there was one person in this chat who I knew would get that, I knew it would be you. Do you have, in fact, any cheese here at all? Yes, sir. You do? No, sir. You haven't. Not a scrap. I've been deliberately wasting your time. I see. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to shoot you. Tracy says, oy vey, Robert, with your kosher kitchen. Well, Tracy, I knew you'd get that one, by the way, because as you know, unfortunately, those who keep kosher cannot enjoy a cheeseburger. Oh, in fact, I'll have you know, as you guys know, I used to work in a Chinese restaurant. I know, you got to keep a couple Quilo around. It gives the place atmosphere. But he told me that he had family who made huge money in New York because of all foods, the one that is easiest to keep kosher without any drop in quality, of course, is Chinese food. Try doing pizzas or just Italian cuisine as a whole without cheese, or a pizza without meat toppings. Mexican food. God, you put meat and cheese on everything, and so on and so on. But the only problem you have with Chinese food is you got to admit I love the seafood options. No crab rangoon and that type of thing. And of course, you can't do the pork fried rice. But you could do really amazing kosher Chinese because you don't have to mix the meat and dairy. But yes, but in answer to your question, no, my kitchen is not kosher. Tug says, real question, mayo on a burger, yes or no? I'm going to withhold. I don't like mayo on burgers. I've had people make burgers for me and the mayo's already on them and I haven't caused a fuss. I don't particularly care for the taste of mayo on my burgers. I don't use it as an option. But if people like to put mayo on their burger, I'm not going to fault. The only thing I really like mayo in, to be honest with you, is tuna salad. Or as far as like a meat, as far as like a sandwich thing. I do like it potato salad. In fact, I had some very excellent potato salad with dinner tonight. But I am so far off topic. Zublik says T. Pons' restaurant is kosher. No. Even the Chinese, I'll come in again. Chinese restaurant I worked at wasn't kosher. He just said it would have been very easy to do that. I seem to have gotten off topic. What else is new? Shannon says, Keith E., you like the juice? I like it a juice. Cindy D says, hold the mayo, geek. I always ordered my Wendy's burgers that way. Yes. I now that you mentioned it, I always seem to manage to get mayo on my Wendy's burgers, or I did for a while until I learned to stop asking for them to not put it on. And Anola says, I only learned about kosher in the last 10 years or so. Only says, thank you to Danny. Corey says, in my class, I was voted most likely to recede, not succeed. I was voted most likely to not have people vote about me. Let's just see. I just jumped. Oh, Trey says, is that the way we go out for Chinese on Christmas? Well, let's just say, actually, you know when that started? That started ages ago because a lot of Christians traditionally, even restaurateurs, you wouldn't have restaurants open on Christmas Eve. It was considered inappropriate. That changed. More and more restaurants realized how much money they could make on Christmas Eve at midnight masses, so people got to eat before they went to the midnight mass and stuff. But traditionally speaking, if Christians owned the restaurant, it wouldn't be open on Christmas Eve. Now, People who were Jewish would like to go out to eat because they don't have to work the next day. So you might as well go out and have a nice dinner. But all the shops were closed. But again, Chinese, generally speaking, weren't Christian. So there was no reason for them to be closed. So they started being open on Christmas Eve. So it became this huge custom for Jewish families, particularly in the big cities like New York and whatnot, to go out for Chinese food because that was the most likely to be open late on Christmas Eve restaurant. Others would be celebrating. Daryl Jones says, cheeseburger, no Coke, Pepsi. There's actually one of my favorites is someone goes in, speaking of cheeseburgers, someone goes in and orders a hamburger, and he says to them, no hamburger, cheeseburger. So I have to get my burger with cheese on it. You can't just not put the cheese on. But I can see that. Lisa Field says, no pickles. I like pickles. But hey, Lisa, free country. But hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset us. Tug says 4 whole fried chickens and a Coke. We all know what movie that's from. And his brother has some dry white toast with nothing to drink. And that, of course, is Blues Brothers. Lisa says, hey to Kenneth. Only says Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Love Hanna-Barbera cartoons. So Luke says, I remember there was a hamburger restaurant across the street where I lived that ironically it was owned by Greeks. One of the best burger restaurants. There were a lot of Greek restaurants here on Cape Cod. In fact, full disclosure, the restaurant I work for is owned by a Greek family. But there were always a lot of Greek owned restaurants on Cape Cod, and the best burger I ever ate was at a place that's been closed forever. It was called Christos's. I'm mispronouncing it, like Christos's, and it was like right in Hyannis, and they had the best burgers on Cape Cod, and he closed ages ago. And I used to love going there. He was a friend of my mom and the Colonel, who I'm sure I've mentioned. So we used to go there a lot. He had the best burgers ever. Zublik says, what's the main dish at your restaurant, T-Pons? We have something called the Italian Trio, which is chicken parm, a couple of our homemade meatballs, and fettuccine Alfredo. That's the great starter dish for people who've never tried our cuisine before. But I've recently found out that our homemade marinated steak tips, there's something about the marinade, it blends phenomenally with white sauce. So I often recommend people get the fettuccine Alfredo with the steak tips or steak tip carbonara. I love me carbonara. If you want to stick with the red sauces, though, the Parmesans are outstanding. I don't like seafood, so I can't pitch the seafood dishes. I will tell you, people love our baked haddock, the stuffed baked haddock. And we have a running special, the Chianti braised short ribs, which are absolutely out of this world. So having shamelessly plugged my restaurant, next time you guys are on Cape Cod, actually, Tom, you tell them. I can't go so far as to say he's a regular, but he dines at our place quite frequently, and his sister's a fixture. So, but anyway, I digress. I think I've gotten a little bit behind too. And you know what, guys? We're actually coming up on that time. So I'm going to scroll. Oh, wait. Actually, speaking of Tom, you said something there, and I'm going to read it because I started. I went through a mayo burger phase. These days, I mostly do honey mustard. Ooh, honey mustard relish, that's good. Daryl Jones says, what is the special of the day? The big one right now is lobster ravioli, but I prefer the Chianti braised short ribs. Pablo says, no fast food or mayo or sour cream for me. You'll probably live longer. Tug says, I do Christmas the Japanese way. I have KFC. Oh, New Covenant Grace is here. He says, hey, all, New Covenant. I was going to thank you. 2 things. One, show tomorrow night. And 2, happy Father's Day. But anyway, so glad you could make it, man. Emily says, Tug, my wife, a Subway manager, refuses to mix the tuna. She hates all seafood. I can see that. And let's just see what else we get going on here. Retro Cereal also says, hey, y'all. Retro Cereal, same 2 questions. Well, same 2 things. Happy Father's Day and, hey, show tomorrow night. And a lot of people saying hello to ENC because we all know his handles. And Tug says, they have to tape the gloves on, or else the tuna and mayo suck them out of your hands. Ooh. Oh, Shonda says, belated congratulations to Ian. Yes, Ian is recently married, by the way, and we wish him and Mrs. Ian all the luck in the world. Gary Carpenter says, Thrasher, you should try the Impossible Burger. It's pretty tasty. I've heard of it, never had it. Oh, Retro Serial says, thank you. A lot of people having love for Ian C and giving him belated congratulations. Or duplicate congratulations. Oh, Tom brought up a good book, Takis. Yes, we used to be fixtures at Takis Pizza. But remember, it wasn't just because of the food. The food was okay, but they had video games. That was when pizza places started putting video games in. And do you know, I still miss the little. Do you remember the Little Peach? I still miss the Little Peach. It had time Wars, whatever that game was. But anyway, but yeah, no, Takis was good. And let's see what else we get going on here. Keithy says all the Greek diners in New Jersey. Sublik says, yeah, T-Pons, it was the best hamburger I ever ate too. Cindy D said most buffets still open after COVID are Asian. Tug asks as well, you're doing a live stream tomorrow, Ian. I'm going to skip through. Danny's given us a link to Retro Cereal. Thank you so much. Only 257 says, sounds yummy, Pawns. It is. Dale John says, we're on a mission from Gad. Yeah, we're on a mission from Gad. You can never go wrong with Italian cuisine. Retro Suplex says. Only says, nice Blue Brother reference. Tom Video says, oh, that sounds good, Bob. Emily says, I'm hungry now. Suplex says, good evening, Keith. I jumped again, but we're getting towards that time again, so. Oh, yeah, Tom says, it's a CVS now, I know. But there's a Wendy's in the plaza. We could have really used that Wendy's back when we were kids. Retro says, no show, just got back from Utah, and unfortunately settling in for a while. Amanda is coming out in August. But I have to stay here for a while, so I will be back on track soon. Hey, thanks, no worries. Hey, you guys think I should do a solo show tomorrow night? If you want, since Ian won't be doing a show tomorrow, I can do another live, just like a miscellaneous Misogotch show. If you guys want another show tomorrow night, it'll probably be a short one, because I have class Tuesday morning. But anyway, Retro, get some rest. You do you, and I'll keep the home fires burning if these guys want them burning. Oh, so he says, we'll miss you, Ian C. Zupli says, no problem. Keithy says, hello, Super. I'm not reading so good tonight. Trace says, miss you, Ian C. Zupli says, yep, T-Pawns. Daryl says, do it. Retro says, thank you. You're quite welcome. Tug says, of course, Thrashers. Retro says, do it, Pawns. Retro, for you alone, I'm going to do it. So, yes, Ian C., I will do it. What do you guys think? Tomorrow, I'll put a post tomorrow morning on my community channel, but we'll call it 7:30. Emily says, let's do it. Pablo says, have a great week. All good night. Podblast, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to check out that video tomorrow. Guys, please do so as well. Check out the Nostalgic Podblast. He's put out some absolutely amazing stuff. Check out his channel and enjoy it. Now, buy it. Watchman says, yes, please, Thrash. Oh, thank you. Only says, do it. Shannon says, burning? Why can we sleep when our beds are burning? Shannon says, do it, Starsky. Podbless says, goodbye for now, Thrash Pondo Pods. Goodbye to you, but I'll see you really soon, and thanks for stopping by. Oh, let me know when you're doing your next live show, by the way. I'd like to check it in. Zubik says, what's going to be the topic? I think we should stick with that first jobs, worst jobs. Remember we were talking about that? Everybody tell me what your first job was, at least that you can remember, your first real job. And what job was the worst job you ever had? I have a fun one for that. Let's just see what else we got going on here. Oh, Pablo says, thanks for the sweet words. Tracy says, nice. See you tomorrow. A lot of people saying goodbye to Podblast. Oh, Tom says, got to run. Good night, all. Hey, Tom, great to talk to you. Have a good one. Terrell, I think I missed one or two of your little notifications where you addressed the floor. If I missed any, please don't take it personal. There was a lot of fellowship tonight, so I think I missed a few comments. But I want to thank you for your involvement as always, and that goes for all of you. And it really does. I say this every week, and if I say it every week, it's because I mean it every week. I couldn't do this show without you guys. You come out every week. You guys are here, and you're basically just here to support me and throw out some nice source material. Pretty much all I do is read it and make snarky comments about it, which are all done with love and fellowship, of course. I'll never make fun of any of you, but it's always done, in good nature, and we have fun. And I couldn't have this much fun if I didn't have all of you here. Oh, John Collins says, "Hey Bob, your Facebook message. Talk about yourself." Oh, message retracted, and a message retracted to you as well. Daryl John says, "Worst job was shoveling powdered milk." Wow, you're gonna have to explain that one. But anyway, we can. I'll talk about that tomorrow. Anyway, guys, again, happy Father's Day in advance. Happy Juneteenth, which of course is tomorrow. Everyone, be good, be safe, be careful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Specifically tomorrow at 7:30. Peace.